Hello and welcome back to episode 3 of the Big Hairy American F1 podcast. We are unfortunately raceless this week, but we're coming at you anyways to talk a little bit of Red Bull drama and whatever else comes up. This is kind of an unscripted pod. We're kind of figuring it out as we go. This one's kind of a new format, but we'll see where we end up. Welcome back, everyone. As always, we've got Drew, Wally, and Gatch.
What up, pimps?
So, big thing that I wanted to talk this week, obviously, last podcast we were pretty sure it was going to happen, but Yuki and Lawson have officially switched places between RB and V-Carb, if you will. This is officially marking what I wrote down as the 6th to 7th, depending on how you mark it, driver that Verstappen has now gone up against. Yuki finally making his way into that Red Bull. Any quick thoughts before we jump into more stats there?
I love it.
Do we think Yuki can keep the seat?
I think so.
You know, I think I spoke to it last week. I don't think might even end the season there. I think there's a good chance that he might. I know, and it's not
brutal,
his fault.
Bro. That's brutal.
And it has nothing to do with Yuki. I love Yuki. And honestly, I think at this point, he will probably keep the seat just because Red Bull doesn't want to look like an idiot. Like, I feel like as an organization, they can't keep doing this.
I would even think, dude, like, even if he couldn't swing it, like, who else do they got? Like, who else are you going to snap in there?
So, quick points, actually.
In there.
I mean, I think the answer, to be honest, before this season was Sainz. I think,
Absolutely.
They could have bought themselves another couple seasons and raised up a rookie in the ranks, and you maybe let Lawson grow at RB or something like that and see who comes out on top. I think that was the clear answer, but
yeah.
Any thoughts on that? Carlos,
Well,
maybe potentially one. Sorry.
Like way back in the day, because he's like kind of old now, but yeah, he was in there like before.
But he was on like Toro Rossi.
Yeah. I mean, you could find pictures of him in the Red Bull jumpsuit from like 2010 and stuff. I don't know if it was quite that long ago, but
Probably
least,
more like 2014.
15 years ago? Yeah, no, never mind.
Ro's been driving since he was, well, I guess he's already like 30 something, so 15, 16.
I'm hoping Yuki does well. I mean, it's his home country.
Right?
There have been zero technical difficulties with this podcast. I'm going to say it out loud. Please, Nick, reiterate your question.
Why do you guys all love Yuki so much? Why is he such a fan favorite? Because I'm pretty new to the F1, so I'm trying to understand the lore of why he's so beloved.
I think there's just a couple of reasons, or a bunch of reasons. I mean, I think he's just a cutie patootie, first of all, but he's also very just like aggressive driver in terms of just like his personality and on the track. So I think that fits well in with Red Bull, because Max is also kind of an aggressive driver in that sense. So like that coupled with it taking so long for Red Bull to put him in the seat, I think he's just like considered an underdog, and people like him because of that too.
Yeah, also, he's had some of the funniest radio messages. I know in the first 2 weeks here that you've been watching, you've kind of seen how funny those can be. He's like the king of those. He always is swearing and screaming and like yelling at his engineer, and it's been hilarious to watch since he started.
Okay. So you guys like that? You guys like when he's like kind of pissy and like cussing people out?
So like, at least for me, his first race when he was doing it 2 years ago now, right? He was cutting up the field. Like, he was the Ollie Behrman of that first race. Like, but he was dive bombing people into turn one in a car that shouldn't be doing that, you know?
Yeah.
The radio messages. They had an interview where like the F1 people were asking all the drivers what their favorite part of F1 is. And everyone's like, oh, dude, the cars. Like, I've been waiting my whole childhood to do this and all this, that, and the other. He said the food. That was his favorite. That was his favorite thing.
Culinary
What a
guy.
legend.
Yeah, no, and he just doesn't care, dude. He's just one of the boys. Yeah.
To
I
that
think
point,
his main goal too is like to start a restaurant too.
Yeah, I
Like,
was gonna
F1
mention
is
that
just
as
his
well, yeah.
Primary.
yeah, there was this great clip where they went down the grid and they asked all the drivers what their dream was, and every single one of them said to become F1 world champion, and Yuki said to start a restaurant. It's
I
like,
love that, dude.
yeah, this dude's awesome.
He's like my new favorite driver.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I
Now you
mean,
know.
so I was
Move
kind of
over
thinking
Ollie
about it,
Behrman.
and you know, McLaren's my favorite team, and like, yeah, Oscar and Norris come with that, and they're actual race winners. But if I had to choose based off personality, Yuki's by far my favorite driver. It's no contest.
Hell yeah. Okay.
He's great.
That's why I bought a $50 Hugo shirt. Hugo
Buy that
shirt.
merch. Buy that
Nice.
merch.
Buy the
Nice.
merch. I have to support Yuki.
The merchant hawk herself.
Yes. Proud to wear that.
So I did want to talk, now that Yuki's in that seat, I think it's kind of an interesting conversation to talk about potential slow death of Red Bull. They've had a lot of drivers come into that second seat against Max, and none of them have really been able to do it. On top of that, the RB seat has been kind of the farm team to get to Max, and a lot of drivers haven't even made it past that stage. So I think it's really interesting that their driver program seems to be floundering, and yet they keep making these crazy decisions like putting Lawson in there before he's really ready. Super weird, especially for a team with their caliber. But real quick, I wanted to give some stats on Max. So in his whole career, I'm going to just go right down the career list of Max and all the drivers that he's had against him. Yeah, it's a pretty good timeline. Hopefully it'll go quick. In 2016, Max stepped in to replace Daniel Kvyat as Danny Ricciardo's teammate after 4 races. After that, Ricciardo left in 2018 to go to Renault.
Hold on. Pause.
Sure, please.
Don't forget, he also stole Kvyat's wife and kids.
Yes. Yeah. Good point. Little P herself.
All right, please continue.
Yeah, so he's now dating his wife and
Fathering his child.
Yeah. Good point. Kind of an interest. He might have just taken over this guy's life, actually.
Yeah, that's all we need to hear.
What could have been if Daniel had just stayed in. So he was Ricciardo's teammate for the first season, and then Ricciardo leaves in 2018 for Renault after, I think we can all agree being scared away by Max. He was the mean
Shoved
talent.
around, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the mean talent coming in, and I think Red Bull had space for both of them, but, Danny really wanted to be the lead driver of the team, and that just wasn't going to work there, so he just left. 2019, Pierre Gasly steps in. He's replaced after 12 races by Alex Albon. In 2020, Albon steps down at the end of the season to become a reserve driver. As in 2021, Checo comes in, and then he stays there through 22, 23, and 24. And then he obviously gets sacked this year after, I would argue, 2 seasons too late. I think he probably should have been gone in 2022, just based off of the point deficit between the two. And then in 25 now, we've had Lawson and now Yuki. So just in Red Bull alone, that is 7 drivers that Max has killed in 8 years.
I wonder if they have the most driver replacements for a team. I'm sure they do.
I mean, maybe over a certain span, I would say it almost
Yeah.
has to be, because this is an insane turnover rate, especially for a team that has a young junior program and is like actually putting money into these kids just to let them flounder and basically burn out after a season is crazy.
Nobody looked that up because that may or may not be a fun fact in my game today.
Oh.
It might have been 6. So also adding on to that, since Toro Rosso, aka V-Carb, aka Minardi, the secondary team to Red Bull, if you will, since 2015, being that this is a farm team to get everyone into the Red Bull program. In 2015, they had Carlos and Max. Obviously, Max and Carlos both getting pulled up. Carlos in 2017 and Max in 28. No, that would have also been 2016. Sorry. So then in 2018, that's when Pierre officially gets demoted after stepping in from Red Bull. So he fails in 2018. And then 2019, they had Gasly, Albon, and Kvyat. 2020 was Gasly and Kvyat after Albon had stepped up to Red Bull as well. Then 2021 and 2022, we have Gasly and Yuki, who I don't know if y'all remember, they were a very cute couple.
Oh yeah.
They had a big bromance for those couple seasons, Gatch. I know you weren't around for those, but they really love each other. And then in 2023, that's when their team starts to get really scrambled. We've got De Vries, Danny Rick, Liam, and Yuki all in 2023. So they went through 4 drivers. And then 2024, obviously a huge mess as well, with the same swap of Danny and Yuki and Liam. And then 25, obviously, we started the season with Yuki and now we're switching to Liam. So we've got 2 teams in full disarray, all of them pretty much running around like a chicken with their head cut off in the attempt to get someone good enough to Max's level, and they just can't seem to get it done. So by my rough estimation, that is 8 drivers in 8 years if you include Nick De Vries.
Dude, that's like half the current grid is like
yeah.
former Red Bull drivers. All of Williams right now, right?
Yep.
Red Bull
Carlos
is
and
wrong.
Albon, both originally Red Bull drivers, now at Williams. Yep. So again, I knew Max was a teammate killer, but 8 drivers in 8 years, again, including De Vries, which you could put an asterisk that maybe Yuki killed him, but either way, that was the farm spot to get to Max. So this dude is going through drivers faster than they can make them. And now Red Bull finds themselves in a position where they have no one left to fill that seat.
Okay, Yuki's gonna do it.
And don't get me wrong, it's great to see Yuki, and I love Yuki, but he's not at Max level.
I think he's just crazy enough, dude. I think he's just crazy enough to send it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Let's have the debate. Do you think that Yuki could put, let's say he won't equal Max in points, but do you think he could put a dent in his point total?
Absolutely.
I think if Checo could do it, he could do it. I don't see why not.
Yo, I actually got a hot prediction for this fucking race
Do it.
with Yuki and Max, dude.
Do it.
And I'm gonna hate to say this, I'm gonna break some hearts. I think they're gonna crash into each other.
Wouldn't that be phenomenal though?
Yeah,
I
dude.
actually-
So
Like P1, P2, and
you
qualifying,
fucking
like,
look, right? So when Yuki has raced at Suzuka, he's never done as well as he has in other courses, and I think that's because he's nervous. He's trying to prove way too much and all this, that, and the other, dude. He's gonna get in that car, be close to Max, and they're just gonna butt heads, and Yuki's not gonna give when other people give to Max because he's in Japan, dude, and they're just gonna crash. I'm calling it right now that the whole white bull livery is gonna be for nothing.
Do you think they'll be close enough in qualifying
I
to
was
have
gonna
that even
say.
be a problem?
I think so.
I mean, maybe it'll happen before. Maybe it'll happen like during practice.
Yeah, I don't see Yuki performing that well, honestly.
Well, Max hasn't been doing that well in the
So they,
Red
True.
Bull, and Yuki's been out driving the RB. So like, I don't know.
I want to have a fun little prediction here. Do you think Lawson will outdo Yuki this
Ooh.
week
No.
in the
Well, I
V-Car?
mean, if what I say is true and Yuki crashes, then yes. But
Well, my argument being that it sounds like that V-Carb is a lot easier to drive. So potentially by dropping either driver into that Red Bull seat, it might be a bit of a career suicide. But by dropping them into that RB seat, they might both look pretty good.
I'll tell you what, it will say a lot if that does happen, because then we will know that the Red Bull car itself is trash.
or are Yuki and Lawson gonna crash? I feel like that could also be something.
Oh,
They'll
that
Nah.
makes sense.
to each
too.
other, and then Lawson will feel like he has something to prove, so he'll try to get in front of Yuki, and then
That's
I
a
think
very
that's more
spicy
likely.
prediction. I love that.
there we go. That's what
Spe-
I'm putting out there.
back for
Even
like
though
a-
I
like-
love Yuki and I don't want that.
Yeah,
I
just for
like
like a
that one.
random like P11, P10, they're
Yeah,
fighting for points
yeah,
and just
exactly.
oh.
And then Bearman reaps the rewards.
Exactly. Double overtake by
I still
Bearman.
don't have a bear on the soundboard. Next week, I promise.
Yeah, we gotta get the Bruins bear in here.
If you guys want to jump into a fun little game, I brought a game this week.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
please.
Let's do it. I
All
love
right.
this.
It's called F1, higher or lower. So I'm going to ask each of you a question. The answer is going to
okay.
be a number.
Yep.
The other two people are going to say higher or lower than that number. Okay? And
Okay.
you're each going to get asked a direct question. So everybody's going to get a turn at answering the actual number.
Hell
So
yeah.
you get a point if you get the number exactly right.
Okay.
You get a point if you were correct saying higher or lower. You get a point if you split the other two. So if one says higher, one says lower, you get a point.
Okay.
And you get a point if the other two are both wrong.
Gotcha. Okay,
I will
so
keep
it's
track
like
of
the Price
points.
is
I was
Right.
gonna say, as long as you keep track of the points, brother. I'm
Yeah,
good.
and I will be keeping track of points,
I was
okay?
gonna say I'm not doing it. So.
So the first round is kind of Max Verstappen themed. So I'll ask Shane first. Shane, how many seasons has Max driven F1?
He would have joined in 2016. It is 2025. I want to say 9 years
So you're saying he's driven 9 seasons?
in F1. Yes, I believe so.
Okay, Drew, do you think it's higher or lower than that?
So I can't say it's the exact same.
No, you have to say higher or lower.
All right.
Wait.
All right.
No, never mind.
Higher.
Okay, Allie?
I was also gonna say higher.
Okay. Allie and Drew are correct. It is 11 seasons.
Ooh.
So
Yes,
Allie and
I-
Drew both get a point.
Yeah, that's right, buddy.
Get out.
So does that
Okay.
include reserve driving or something?
I don't know. That's just how many seasons he's driven for F1.
Okay.
Head,
All right. Fair
okay.
enough. Fair enough.
Okay. Drew,
Yes.
how many total GP wins does Max have?
Oh my god. I'm gonna say 102.
Okay, Shane, do you think it's higher
Damn.
or lower than that?
102. I'm gonna say higher, but not
I'm
by
gonna
much.
say lower.
What are you saying, Allie?
I'm saying lower.
Okay, Drew gets a point for splitting the answers.
Okay.
And Allie gets a point. It is 63 GP wins.
Ooh, I was gonna
Whoa.
say 52, but
What? That
would've been
seems like an insane thing to have thought it was higher. I just
Oh wait, no, because Lewis just hit like his 100th. What? All right, yeah, no,
and
that
he's
was
been
dumb.
there for
Yeah,
Okay.
a long time.
we know F1.
Okay, Allie, what is Max's win percentage?
Oh, okay. Very data analyst question. 68%.
Okay, Shane, do you think it is higher or lower than that?
61. Is this since the start of his career?
Yes.
I'm gonna say lower.
Okay, Drew.
I'm gonna say it's 69, so higher.
Okay, Allie gets a point for splitting. And
Nice.
Shane gets a point. It is 29.9%.
Damn, dude.
I wish we had like podium.
This guy's
percentages.
washed, bro.
When I thought about it, I was like, "There's no way it can be that
Only
high."
29%, dude.
So that's round one. I have 3 rounds.
Oh,
Do we want to revisit a round later in the pod, or do we want to do all 3 rounds right now?
Fucking bang it out, dude.
I was gonna say revisit. Actually, I think this was a
Revisit.
fun little break, but it's up to you guys. We can power through.
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm chill with.
Let's power through. Drew said it. Let's do at least the
Alright.
second one. We'll save the last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Shane, your second direct question: how many drivers has Red Bull had?
I wish. Do you know if it includes RB?
No, not RB, just
Like
Red
the
Bull.
farm team. Okay. How many drivers since the beginning of their?
Since 2005.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I actually might know this.
I'm gonna
have no-
say 14.
Oh,
Okay, Drew. Do you think
I'm
it's
gonna
higher or lower than that?
lower.
I'll say
Allie?
higher, just for the fun of it, just to be
Okay,
different.
Shane gets a point for splitting, and he also gets a point for being exactly right.
Oh!
It is 14 drivers.
I was gonna say 12. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I was
12.
like, the reason why I reacted like that, dude, because you were like right on the fucking money, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, okay. Drew, what year did McLaren debut in F1 racing?
Oh, dude,
Ooh,
that's fucking way back
I
there,
feel like I
bro.
know it. No, I don't.
I'm gonna say 1969.
Okay. Allie, do you think
Good
it
choice.
is after that or before that?
Oh shit. 9. Oh, I'm gonna go after.
Okay, Shane, do you think it's after or before 1969?
I think it's after, but should I say before for fun? I'll
If
say
you say
before.
before, it
I'll
gives
say
Drew
before.
a point for splitting.
I'm gonna go with
Yes,
before.
before. Hell yeah.
God
Okay,
damn it.
Shane gets a
Oh.
point and Drew get a point. It was 1966.
Oh
So
man.
very close, Drew. Almost right on the money.
Good
Damn.
job, Drew. Nice
Okay.
work.
Last question in round 2 for Allie. How many total GP wins does Ferrari have?
Oh.
GP. Okay. Damn. They've been around for the longest.
I think you'd
So
be surprised at how low this number will be.
really? Okay. Oh,
I don't know for sure. I just of recent years they've been struggling.
well, true. Very true. Okay, based off of that. Um, ooh, I'm gonna say 112.
Okay. Shane, do you think it is higher or lower than that?
I mean, Drew was just saying that Lewis just reached 100 recently, and I feel like Ferrari's total is probably less than Lewis's total. So my reasoning for that is I'm gonna say lower, but only a smidge.
Okay, Drew, do you think it's higher or lower? What'd you say again, Allie?
112.
Higher or lower than 112, Drew?
I think it's gonna be a smidge higher.
Woo!
All right, so Allie gets a point for splitting.
Yay!
Drew gets the point. It is 248 GP
Oh,
wins.
Jesus,
Hell yeah.
man.
You know what? I know F1. I
You know
don't
what?
need I don't need your damn
Okay,
trivia to
okay.
tell me what I do and do
Hey,
not know.
it's 75 years of them being.
I was gonna say, they've been around forever, so I could have said something higher.
I've been
so
around the block.
I have one more question for each person. Do we want to do the last round now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
Okay.
I'd be glad
The
to.
yeah, let's just
The
fire
current
through it.
scores: Shane has 4 points. Drew has 4 points.
Let's go.
Allie has 4 points,
Oh
Let's go.
shit!
which is actually insane.
Sudden
and this is going way
death.
better than I expected it to.
Let's
We're all fucking
go.
trash.
Yeah,
Oh my
Okay.
god!
fisticuffs
All right.
on.
Last questions. Shane, what is the most number of wins that Mercedes has gotten in one season?
Ooh. That's got to be a Lewis Hamilton season
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll tell you what, it was in 2016.
Okay.
Okay.
The problem,
Too far.
I don't know how many races were on the calendar in 2016, but I know it was less than current. Drew's going to be our best bet at guessing this correctly. I'm going to say 18.
Okay, Drew, do we think it is higher or lower than 18?
Lower.
Okay, Drew says lower. Allie, do you think it is higher or lower than 18?
Damn. I'm gonna say lower too.
Okay, Shane gets a point because Allie and Drew were both wrong. It is 19
Damn it.
wins.
Oh!
The one time that I don't
Super
go
close.
other.
Oh no.
I'll take the
Okay,
one.
Drew. What? So it's still Mercedes. What is their highest amount of consecutive wins?
Does that include like inter-season streaks?
I honestly don't know.
It includes what Google said.
But
Okay.
they've done it twice. They've tied, like they've gotten this same number for consecutive wins twice.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say 15.
Okay, Allie, do you think it is higher or lower than 15?
Lower.
Okay, Shane.
Hmm.
Higher.
Okay, Drew gets a point for splitting it, and Allie gets a point. It is 10 consecutive wins.
I honestly
Oh,
was
man.
hoping it would be 19 again.
Which,
Oh,
which
yeah.
for those keeping track at home, it is three-way tie with 5 points each.
Oh,
Oh no.
shit.
Coming up on the last question to Allie.
Mamma mia!
Damn, I better get this.
Okay. So, I have a couple ways I could word this question because I'm
Oh,
not
no.
exactly sure what it means. What is the difference between a constructor and a driver championship?
Oh, okay.
Constructor is
Constructor is
the-
the whole team.
Sorry. Yeah.
Driver is a single driver. So it's the points that the single driver gets versus the points that the entire team gets. So both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like last year, McLaren won the constructors, but Max won the drivers.
Wait, what?
Because there's a different point total. Their team gets both of their drivers added
Oh,
up.
both
and that-
drivers are the team.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. How do I want to word this then?
Oh god.
Okay, I'll say how many driver championships does Mercedes have?
Okay.
This is whose question is it?
Mine.
Allie.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, oh man, I don't even know when Mercedes started made their debut. I'm gonna say 23.
Okay. Drew, do you think it is higher or lower than that?
Lower. In fact, I'm gonna give you a number. It's 8.
Shane, do you
I
think it
was
is
also
higher
going
or
to say
lower?
lower in 8, but Drew beat me to it. I was going to be a smart ass as
Damn.
well.
Okay. It is lower. It is 9 driver championships,
Oh, who's the?
which means Drew and Shane both have 6. So I can ask this tiebreaker question.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
Okay. Shane, how many constructor championships does Mercedes have?
Ooh. You just said 9 for drivers. I'm gonna go with 11.
Okay. Drew, do you think it is higher or lower than 11?
Lower.
And Drew is our winner. It is 8 constructor
Man.
championships.
Let's go.
This is bullshit. I want him off the pod. I want to see him next week.
But that's the game. That's
Yeah,
F1
probably
higher or lower.
Hey, well done. Yeah.
That was fun.
Hey.
Good job.
Great job,
Good job.
Gatch. Thank you
Love
for
it.
Came
bringing
down to
that
the wire,
along.
dude.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, dude, that was way closer than I thought it was gonna be. That was actually I loved that.
Perfect
Thanks for
first
exposing
outing.
all of us for knowing nothing on an F1 book.
Perfect. That's how I
I'm
want
not-
it to be.
I
The
don't
guy
think
who
any.
actually knows nothing is the host, so it seems like I know everything.
Nice try, but you're
Well,
wrong.
don't ask me any clarifying questions.
No.
No, that was wicked fun. Thank you. Like, I don't think any of us are F1 historians, but it's still fun to like guess and know that stuff afterwards. So,
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
all part of the experience.
all
now I'm
right.
more intelligent because of you, Gatch. So
Yeah, I learned a little something new. Allison, do you want to lead us in a livery talk? I heard you wanted to talk liveries today.
yeah, well, let's get started with, I guess, the most important one of the Red Bull, the white livery coming back for Japan.
Just to
It's-
clarify, this is Suzuka special livery talk now that we're getting into. But please, Allie, continue.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was pining on a livery, a white livery for this GP, and finally Red Bull just announced it, I think like yesterday.
It's so clean.
But it's very sleek, and it's obviously this is not a visual podcast, but it's mostly white. It looks like it's carbon fiber on the bottom portion with like a shiny Red Bull logo on the mid of the car. So it's very sleek looking.
Beautiful livery.
And Drew, I know you were waiting for this release from the team.
Ever since they did it back in
Forever.
2021, and when Max still had the 33s on his car and everything, that car looks so clean. I'm so glad they brought it back. Been waiting for it ever since.
Yeah,
Do you
this
like
has
this
been
one better than the 2021 one or 2021?
No, so and it's because I liked the way the cars looked generally better in 2021. They were just a giant arrow wedge. Like these things are kind of boats compared to them.
I love the Japanese flag representation. It's sick.
Yeah, this was a long-awaited livery. Fans have been waiting for that white Red Bull to return for years. So this was a big hats off to the fans and a nod. So
Hell yeah.
it looks great. I love it. It
Yeah,
looks sleek
I
out
think-
there.
Yeah, I think this is my like second favorite one aside from the V-Carb Miami Red Bull last year.
Mm.
The gradient.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it, but with how V-Carb went all white this year, this does look very V-Carby. I do like the Red Bull, though, like the actual Red Bull instead of it being yellow or whatever with its swirl up there, but there's
That is
something
fire.
about it that's definitely going to be a little hard to tell apart from the other cars, but looks nice. By itself, it's perfect.
Definitely sleek.
Looking
How
good.
about that cherry blossom one for the
I
Haas? huh?
love it.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
so fucking good.
Let's fire into Haas next.
Yeah,
Do you
can't wait
guys...
to
I
see
don't
What do you guys
Ollie
don't
think?
Barron in
like-
that bad Larry.
I don't like the red spoiler and the red what's the front what do you call the front wings? What do you
Yeah.
call those?
Front wing, you got it.
I don't like the red. I think it kind of clashes too much. I think it kind of comes out of nowhere, but the cherry blossom and the pink, dude, I love this. I think it's so good.
Totally
Yeah,
agree. I think
wish
it's...
they did like a gradient from like pink to red on like the MoneyGram and the Haas, but obviously they have to keep their like team colors somewhere on it, so I understand.
Yeah.
I think it's sweet, but that, yeah, like you said, the red looks like the HP logo on the side of the Ferrari. It's like, what the hell is that thing doing there? It's just...
Yeah, it looks so out of place.
Yeah, if they just, tinted that red pink, this would be a beautiful livery, but I think it's
Yeah.
honestly too jarring for me to say this one's cool. I kind of hate it.
Yeah, and like
I
the
agree. I just
MoneyGram
hate the red.
above the engine too. It kind of looks weird. I wish they did like the pink or like cherry blossoms on that. Like little
Dude,
push
how much money did MoneyGram slap out there to keep that red, dude?
They must have spent so much. I mean, it looks like Haas was committed to their red as
Sponsor.
well, so. To be fair, that black back wing still has the Haas logo and stuff in their red, so it looks like they were both committed, but I don't love it.
Yeah. I honestly think it would have been the best one without the red clash.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, I don't know if they're going to be in season right now. I think they are.
They are. That's why they have it now.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gatch, we'll see. Suzuka isn't my favorite track for racing, but visually, it's my favorite track. It's
Hell yeah.
beautiful. It's so nice, and you get the cherry blossoms, and it's on this nice, like, hill, and the grass is so perfect. It's just a gorgeous track. It looks like a Mario Kart
Excited
map.
to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
How about that steak?
I was going to say, Allie, you want to lead us on a steak talk now?
Oh well, no. I mean, what can I say? And like Lady Gaga reincarnated from the VMAs, whatever that year was. But I mean, they went for a choice, and it was definitely a visually stimulating one, as it is a fully meatified mobile. But
Yeah. Huge swing and a miss in my book. This thing looks like beef.
I
It-
think it's kind of mean.
Wait, what
It's
was steak usually? What color are they usually?
green,
They're
like
like
a bright
neon green, dude.
and-
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they're like the kicking steak one. right?
Yes. Yep.
Yes, yeah.
I honestly like this better than the green.
Much better.
It says a lot.
That's what's
I thought it
funny.
was an April Fool's joke.
I'm like, this thing looks like a big slab of beef, but it looks so much better than their current car.
Yeah, dude, I actually think this looks better than what they usually rock.
Dude, it's gonna be absolutely hilarious to see this thing out there driving around.
Is it supposed to be like flames or sparks or I can't even
No,
tell what the
it's-
decal
It's
is.
literally like Wagyu beef. Like,
Yeah,
Wait,
Yeah.
it's supposed to actually
it's
be
supposed
meat?
to be meat.
yes, dude.
Oh no, it's not. Is
Like
it
they
really?
said
Yes,
that?
it is.
Bro,
100%. Yes.
No
Keep the
fucking
Instagram.
way.
Keep the
Yeah.
Wait, they
Instagram.
actually said that?
I thought.
They. Yes, that's what
it's
it's
the
Oh,
car
I
literally
made that.
driving
I said
towards
that
the
as a
bush.
joke. I didn't realize
Dude,
that was
I-
legit.
No,
Yeah, I was
it's
kidding about
true.
that too.
Oh
No.
my god, that's hilarious.
Your eyes are
Wait.
not deceiving you. It's a piece of meat.
Oh my god, it actually is. They went for beef.
That's why I
Oh
said
my.
steak
Oh,
now.
okay. Never mind. This is officially my favorite livery
Prime rib.
of all
Guys,
time. I
prime
think.
Oh my god, wait, they.
Yeah,
oh,
I didn't realize that was on purpose. I thought it was an
Ooh.
actual accident.
Oh my
Now
God.
that I'm learning live updates, breaking
Their
news.
Instagram caption has someone checked the expiration date on this steak.
Dude,
This is now.
Exactly.
I went from being my least favorite livery. I was like, "What the hell is this steak-looking livery?" To now, I'm like, "Oh, it's steak. I love it."
You did it for the meme, and that's it.
It's so funny.
A
Ugh.
very good marketing tactic, I guess, for them.
We need a
Actual
bacon
slab.
wrapped car or something
Yeah, you got
next.
they got eyes on it.
Eggs
That's-
and bacon.
That's
Eggs will be
hilarious.
the rims, and then bacon will be the actual body livery.
oh my god.
I don't
can't
think
believe
there's
you
any
guys
other
do
teams doing special liveries either, but that's a good lineup. That steak is hilarious though. That's so
I
funny.
can't believe
That's
we
gonna be
did
one of the
not
all-time
go
ones
into
there.
that.
Well,
Good meat.
I could have sworn Alpine had one, but I think I'm going crazy.
to anyone listening to the pod, definitely worth looking up the steak one at the very least. If you're not listening or looking up any other ones, that one's important. That's crazy. I'm just looking at it. It's insane.
That's right.
Anyway, I mean, again, when I thought it was like supposed to be flames or something, I was like, "Wow, this is terrible artwork." And now that I realized it's steak, I'm like, "This is incredible. I love it."
No, the longer you look at it, the more steak-like it is.
Yeah, big fan. Big fan.
Nice.
Anyways, that was
Is there
our.
anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, make
No,
me hungry.
I don't think so. I thought you had one thing. No.
Did I?
Yeah. Well, you wanted to bring up the V10s. I saw
Oh,
the news as well.
yeah!
Yeah. So
Oh,
please,
yeah.
after you,
Alright.
I'll let you lead this one.
So I was perusing YouTube, right? And I saw a video, and it was like, "Are they bringing back V10s?" And I was like, "Oh, you know what? I wish." Let me click on it, dude. The FIA president, Mohammed Ben Saliem. I probably absolutely
enough.
butchered his last name. Yeah. But I guess he's actually considering bringing back V10s, dude. And it's a weird time for him to even be bringing this up because we all know about the rules and regulation changes coming into 2026. And a lot of that was catered to getting Audi to join and start making engines and all that stuff, to trying to entice engine manufacturers like Ford, because everyone knew that Honda was leaving. Yeah, so now they're just taking all that, putting it by the wayside, and they're gonna try and bring back the V10s, dude. It's in its early stages right now, but the fact that they're actually talking about it seriously with the FIA president is music to my ears.
Yeah, totally agree. I don't know how much. I mean, Gatch probably wouldn't have ever heard it, but the V10 engines were like
I don't even
way
know if I
louder,
heard it.
way cooler. They that's the classic F1 sound that people really think of when they think of F1. And these new kind of hybrid engines with batteries and stuff like that, they're just so muted by comparison. I guess what I was reading was that they had made enough progress in renewable fuel and, like zero emission fuel, that they were planning on switching back to bigger, beefier engines because of the lack of emissions from the new fuel.
Bring back vegetable oil, buddy.
Well, what I'm wondering is, why is my car still sucking down regular gas if we have zero emission fuel out there? What the hell is going on?
Because it's not a $10 million F1 car, pal.
You're not wrong, but it just seems like that's... I mean, I know that's kind of why everyone's in this sport in the first place, is to hopefully dissent this technology down and stuff, but that's... I didn't know we were at a place as a human race where we could get to zero emission fuel.
Dude, whoever's bringing up the zero emission fuel is gonna get whacked by like Gulf oil.
it's a great idea, but yeah. I
For
think
some reason, their
there's
window
very
will be
far up
very
from that.
open in that hotel room. I don't know.
Yeah, no, dude, they're gonna show up to Saudi Arabia for the first race and you just get killed by like the oil guy.
Ugh. Yeah, so either way, could be an exciting return to hear big screaming engines back on that F1 circuit. I know I would love it. Drew, I'm
Dude.
sure would.
I can't wait, man.
Yeah.
I got into it right after like they switched over.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever heard them truly in like a live race or
Tr-
watching a live race.
Treat
so
yourself to a YouTube video sometime.
yeah.
Truly.
I think I've seen TikTok videos of it
Yeah.
here and there.
And
but
I read, the new regulations are supposed to go to 2031, and that's kind of what enticed Audi to get in. And when they announced that they were going to be potentially bringing back V10s by as early as 2028, which would be cutting the regulations in half, I guess Toto Wolff and other, industry insiders all got mad because they were like, you can't entice a team like Audi to join your sport under false pretenses and then switch everything 3 years later. Like, you're never going to keep teams coming in. But I would argue that there's probably plenty of teams clamoring to get in anyways, so fuck them. Like,
Dude, it's just like the sheer money that you have to toss in to like create a new engine to fit this new regulation for what, 2 years, dude? Like, it's. I mean, I can see where they're coming from, but like their pockets are gonna be hurting. But for the love of the sport, I think everyone's really excited.
I totally agree. And like I said, there's plenty of teams clamoring to get in. They'll make it work. Other teams have money. There's people who want in. Cadillac is trying to get, there's other teams who want in, which I guess Cadillac is in now. We can talk about that later on this week. Well, not this pod, but we'll save that for another one. But the
Do you know
Cadillac.
what engine they're gonna be running, bro? They're gonna come out with their
No.
own because I mean, Red Bull's gonna have a Ford. I mean, that's the closest thing to an American thing. But I don't expect GM and Ford getting together in one car.
I don't know if there's an official answer yet, but I can look into that for next week for sure. That could be a good talking point. Either way,
Exciting stuff.
yeah, excited about the potential return of louder engines. I think this podcast would like that very much.
The more noise, the better.
make my ears bleed.
Yes.
Is there anything else anyone wanted to talk about for this week?
I don't think so.
Yeah, sort of an
think
abridged
so.
episode. I know we're between races. Unfortunately, raceless this week, but we are heading into Suzuka on, Friday, I guess, would be practice, but we're heading into Suzuka this weekend. And
Yeah,
we'll have
filler
plenty
episode.
more. Yeah.
Bye week.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see going forward if this is gonna continue to be a weekly thing. I think this was a good exploratory episode, but if it becomes to be a little bit much, maybe we'll just wait for race weeks. But this was great. I had a lot of fun. So thank you guys
I feel
again for
like-
coming back.
Trivia.
bud.
Trivia on off weeks.
Yeah, trivia is great. You definitely bring that
Trivia
back.
games on off weeks. And on weeks too. Just all the time.
Yeah, that would be
Before
fun.
we go, say hello to your mother for me.
Hell yeah! All right, everyone. Goodbye.
You go.